Shalom, y'all. Ahuvah here, aka Mama Cheryl, and I know it's been a long time since I've done a video. A lot of things have happened and taken place, and the last time I talked to you guys, I was on my way to Idaho to go visit a daughter, and then I told you guys I was going to be on a journey. Well, the journey was I was supposed to have been moving to Tennessee. Okay, and my grandson and a friend of his was supposed to have been going with me. Anyhow, okay, I went to Idaho. We were having a great time, and at one point, my daughter Aaliyah, who also was living in Colorado, she decided while I was in Idaho that she would go visit her sister in Houston, Texas. So she went to Houston, Texas. Okay, and then my grandson, and a friend of his who were supposed to be going to on the journey with me, we were supposed to be going to Tennessee. Okay, so but while I was in Idaho, his mom decided, well, since Grandma is in Idaho, why don't you come and visit? So he left and went to California to go visit his mom. And so his friend, who was supposed to come with us, parents came down as a surprise to visit him. So that just took him off, completely going on a trip. Well, as we were in Idaho, I found out from Aaliyah that, she was going to be in Houston a little bit longer than she thought. So my flight back to Colorado, I had to cancel. And what I decided to do, I said I would wait for my grandson to come back from Colorado. And by that time, Travis, his friend's parents would have visited, and they would be, we could be ready to go. Because we was going to leave Idaho and drive to Colorado, pick up my belongings, and just head out to Tennessee. Okay. In that process, like I said, Aaliyah couldn't make it from Houston in time. So, I waited for them. And while I was there, while we were waiting to go, because we were supposed to go to Tennessee in the second week of June. But in that process, a good friend and brother of ours in California passed away. And so, we were kind of devastated behind that, because that was somebody who was also an elder in one of the assemblies that we would attend. Most of the time it would be online because everybody was spread out. So a couple of days after that is when I got the news that our trip to Tennessee would be canceled because the person where we were going, they changed their mind. And so, because I wasn't going to be able to make the funeral because of that, but since the person changed their mind about Tennessee, I was able to meet up, go to California. Well, anyway, let me tell you about that part. So, my daughter, who I was visiting, called my sister. Well, I had already called her and told her about the cancellation and that we weren't going to Tennessee, and the new plans had to be made. So anyway, my daughter in Idaho, like I said, her and my sister got together, and then my sister called me and said, okay, well, since you're not going to Tennessee, would you think about coming to Texas? I said, sure, I'll come to Texas. So she said, okay, we'll meet up in California, because she was leaving Texas going to the funeral. We were leaving from Idaho going to the funeral. So we met up in Texas. Long story short, when it was time to come back, I came back to Texas with her. So now I'm in Mesquite, Texas, y'all. Okay. Now next, I was making arrangements to go pick up my belongings from Colorado. But in that process, when I called Aaliyah, she was telling me that Fort Garland, where we live, it was a massive fire going on. And it was a mandatory evacuation. And at this particular time, she had evacuated and she had went to Pueblo, which is like an hour or so from Colorado Springs. Okay, so she stayed in Pueblo for a bit, and then she told me, she said, well, because she made a decision before that too, to once they thought I was going to Tennessee, she made preparations to sell the house in Colorado and start on a new journey herself. Okay, like I said, it was a fire in Colorado. So she said, well, and she sat in Pueblo for a good while. Then she just said, you know, I'm going to San Antonio. So that's what her hometown. She went to San Antonio. She got an apartment there. And long story short, on this one, that fire is still burning. We don't know if that house is still standing or not, because no one can get in. And if they didn't come out, they can't get out. There was over 180 houses that burned down, and where we live, that's just about all the houses over there. So, you know, I don't know. So I'm here, like I said, in Texas. She's in San Antonio, and all we can do now is sit and wait. You know, because at first when she oh, excuse me, when she contacted me and told me that, okay, I made it to San Antonio, because I had asked her, well, did you get a chance to pack up everything? And when I said pack up everything, in my head, I was saying, did you get the stuff out the house? But what she managed to do was get everything packed up. Well, my stuff was already packed up. I just had to go get it. But she managed to get her things packed up. And but she wasn't able to bring them, and I was under the impression that she did, because when she got to San Antonio, I said, great, then I'll make arrangements to come and pick up my stuff. And then she said, oh, it's still in Colorado, I wasn't able to get nothing. I'm like, oh, okay. So we both don't know if we have anything left. All I have with me is the stuff that I packed to take on my 10-day trip to Idaho. I was able to pick up a couple of things in the thrift store because, as y'all know, or some of you guys know, I'm a thrift store queen. I love shopping in the thrift store, so I was able to get a couple of skirts from there, you know, and a couple of tops. So I'm good for a while. Well, anyway, that's the story. We're still waiting to hear when we can get back into Colorado, because the main highway that we go down to get to the property is shut down and has been shut down for like 2 weeks now. The problem they're having putting that fire out is, I don't know if I ever, well, yeah, I think I might have told you guys that the winds out there are treacherous, because we were in the mountains, you know, and the wind can get 60, 65, 70 miles an hour with no problem. So that wind just fans the fire. Even in the summertime, it gets that way. You know, it's not just the winter or the fall, but in the summertime, it also gets that way. That's just like last year when we were doing Sukkot. That wind came through and was blowing all the tents, and everybody had to put rocks and all that stuff to try to hold the stuff up, you know, because that was the first Sukkot they would have there, and they didn't know how the weather was going to be. So, yeah. Well, anyway, like I said, we're still waiting to find out when we can go back and to see if we have anything, because I don't know, you know. But, you know, I'm not going to, y'all willing the stuff will still be there, but if not, I'm not going to sweat it, because it's just stuff. At least, you know, Aaliyah and the children are safe. You know, they're, you know, with close to family. And I'm also close to family here in Mesquite, Texas, because we also have a brother here. He's in Frisco, Texas, and his daughter, my niece, she's also in Frisco. So, you know, I do have other family here, you know, not just Hannah. Okay, so now I'm going to start my journey here. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I might be here for a good while now that I'm here. The only thing that, you know, that I don't really like, I'm back in the city for a while, you know, so I have to deal with that. But it's quiet where we are. I have not yet heard one siren, you know, or nothing like that. So it's pretty cool. And just up the street is kind of, well, not just up the street, but further down, it's like a rural area. But, you know, it's pretty cool here so far. And everything is, if I need to go to the store, you know, it's just right up the street. You know, and, you know, I see, we have a Walmart market. That's all it is. It's a market. It doesn't have anything else. You just go shop like you would at Kroger or Safeway, something like that. And then also on the other side is the 99-cent store. So yeah, we're close to stores. They're walking distance, but it's too freaking hot to walk anywhere. But at least we're not suffering like they are in California, because it's really hot out there in California. My daughter, who lives in Bellflower, California, the other day, it was 114 degrees. You know, that's unheard of there. And I have a niece who lives in Paris, California, and it was like 120 degrees out there. And man, I'm glad I'm here, because on that particular day, it was funny on Facebook. I told them, I said, well, it's cool here today. It's a cool 95. So, yeah. So anyway, you guys, that's my story. That's what's going on. And I will keep you up to date. Oh, I will have another camera pretty soon. My brother is going to loan me one of his cameras until I'm able to get my own. And so I'll be set. You know, I have been doing these videos on the phone. I hate recording on the phone. That's why I don't do it as much, because I hate. But I know I had to catch up with you guys and let you know what was going on. Oh, and also I'm going to let you guys know, too, that I am also setting up a Patreon account, you know, to put videos on Patreon, because that's, you know, a donation site. You know, you donate, you know, you subscribe to the channel, and, you know, you give a donation every month. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, like I said, we don't know what's going on. I don't know if I have anything left. You know, all my, if not, that means all my soaping supplies, my canning supplies, and all the rest of my clothes, and just everything is just, you know, it's a possibility that it's gone. So, and also I need to raise money to take care of my little personal needs that I have while I'm here. So, you know, because, you know, everybody doesn't use the same brand of soap or toothpaste and all that kind of stuff. And eventually, you know, what I have is going to run out. So that way I'll have a means of income to support myself. And I want to raise money to give me some transportation, because when I was in Colorado, I didn't have my own transportation, and it made it kind of hard for when I needed to get to a store. I couldn't always get there because there was no transportation. Well, anyway, you guys, that's my story for now. That's what's going on right now. And so what I'm going to do is to tell all you guys who are new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And when you do, hit that little bell so you get notifications when I do start redoing all my videos. Like, share if you want to. And I'm going to put my information down there in case you just might want to make a little donation yourself. No, I'm not ashamed to ask, because, you know, at this point, you know, I'm going to need a little bit of help, you know. So anyway, again, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, hit the little bell, like, share. Okay. And is there anything else I need to say? I think not. Okay, guys, with that, I'm going to say shalom.